In the world of tech, there are battles fought in the headlines, and then there are the silent wars waged behind closed doors. This is the story of one of those wars. On one side, you have Google, the giant that literally wrote the book on modern AI. And on the other, OpenAI, the upstart that used that very book to build an empire. Trillions of dollars were hanging in the balance, and yet not a single shot was ever fired. The real story isn't about the war, but about why it never happened. Just think about it for a second. Google had the power to launch a lawsuit that could have completely derailed OpenAI and reshaped the entire AI landscape as we know it. We're talking about the legal case of the century. So why didn't they? Why did this epic showdown that seemed so inevitable simply fizzle out before it even began? That's the mystery we're diving into today. Now, for the longest time, the tech world had a very neat and tidy answer to this question. It was a simple story, really. A story about one catastrophic mistake, a trillion-dollar loophole that everyone believed OpenAI had brilliantly slipped through. It's a fantastic story. The only problem? It might not be the whole truth. Okay, so let's rewind to 2017. A group of researchers at Google publishes a paper with the now legendary title, "Attention is All You Need." This wasn't just another academic paper. This was the birth of the transformer architecture. It's the foundational blueprint for pretty much every major AI you use today. And Google, being Google, didn't just publish it, they patented it fast. This technology became the crown jewel of their entire AI intellectual property portfolio. Right, so this is where the supposed loophole comes into play. You see, Google's main patent covered the entire transformer system, which is made of two key parts, an encoder and a decoder, working together. But here's the clever bit. OpenAI, when they built their GPT models, decided to use only the decoder part, so on the surface it looked like they'd found a genius workaround. They were using Google's core ideas, sure, but not the specific two-part structure that Google had patented. A clean getaway, right? And this idea that Google's lawyers had made this colossal blunder, it spread like wildfire. This quote from a Reddit user just perfectly sums up how people felt about it. The consensus in the tech world was that Google had fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line, committing one of the most expensive mistakes in the history of business. And honestly, for a while, that was a story. A brilliant play by OpenAI and a historic unforced error by Google. Case closed. But what if I told you that entire narrative, that whole story about the trillion-dollar loophole, is a myth? The real reason for the silence is so much more complicated and, frankly, so much more interesting. Okay, here is the twist, and it is a big one. That loophole? It didn't exist. Far from being negligent, Google's lawyers had been incredibly thorough. They didn't just file one patent for the whole system. No, they had built a fortress. They had separate patents on the combined model, another patent just for the encoder part, and, crucially, a separate distinct patent for the decoder-only architecture, the very technology OpenAI was using. The lawsuit wasn't just possible, they had a slam-dunk case sitting right there. And this brings us to the real mystery. The loophole was a fiction. Google had the legal ammunition locked and loaded from the very beginning. They had a clear, defensible patent that OpenAI's core products appeared to be infringing upon. So this raises an even more pressing question. If you have a winning hand, why on earth would you choose not to play it? Why didn't Google pull the trigger? Well, the answer isn't buried in a legal document. It's hidden in the unwritten rules of engagement in big tech. It turns out OpenAI was protected by 3 powerful hidden defenses that created this strange, uneasy peace. Let's break them down. The first line of defense is the open source shield. You see, many of these transformer models are built using Google's very own open source library, TensorFlow. And TensorFlow is governed by something called the Apache 2.0 license, which has this sneaky little patent grant clause. In plain English, this clause basically says that if you use this code, you're also granted a license to use any of our patents that are embodied in that code. It's a powerful legal shield. Second is a concept you could call patent mutually assured destruction. It's straight out of the Cold War. All these tech giants, Google, Microsoft, Apple, they each sit on a massive arsenal of patents, tens of thousands of them. So if Google sues OpenAI, Microsoft, which is OpenAI's biggest partner, can immediately launch a devastating countersuit against Google using its own mountain of patents. It creates this tense standoff, an unspoken truce where nobody dares to fire the first shot because it would lead to all-out war. And finally, the third reason is all about what a competitive advantage, or a moat, really looks like today. In the age of AI, a patent is just the outer wall of your fortress. The real treasure, the truly defensible power, lies much deeper. It's in your secret training methods, your exclusive access to massive datasets, your raw computing power, and the brilliant minds you have on your team. A patent lawsuit can't touch any of that. So what does this all mean? This silent war, this epic court case that never happened, it actually teaches us some incredibly important lessons about what innovation and strategy really look like in the 21st century. So here are the 3 big takeaways. First, never, ever underestimate the power of a well-written patent claim. It can literally define an entire industry. Second, intellectual property isn't just about patents anymore. It's a war fought on multiple fronts. You need trade secrets, data, and compute to win. And third, open source isn't just a feel-good philosophy. It's a powerful strategic weapon that could be used for both market domination and legal defense. Which leaves us with one final big question to chew on. This uneasy peace, this strategic standoff between the giants, is it actually good for innovation? Does it let new ideas spread more freely, or does it just lock things down, ensuring that the only companies that can truly compete are the ones who already have massive patent arsenals and the deepest pockets? It's definitely something worth thinking about. If you found this breakdown insightful, please do give us a like and subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. Thanks for watching.